His phone came back. His keys came back. Nolan didn't. On the morning of July 4th, 2026, 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells boarded a boat with a group of friends and headed toward Horn Island, a narrow, undeveloped barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It was supposed to be one last celebration before summer ended. By the time that boat returned to the mainland, Nolan was not on it. 2 days later, a park ranger found him near the northwestern tip of the island, the same stretch of shoreline where he'd last been seen alive. This is the story of what happened in between, and of how many of the people who were there still can't agree on it. Before he became a headline, Nolan Wells was a son, a friend, and a young athlete about to start the next chapter of his life. He lived in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. He'd just finished high school and was set to attend Southwest Mississippi Community College, where he planned to play wide receiver. His parents were supposed to drive him to football camp the following Monday. People who knew him described someone who built strong friendships and pulled other people up with him. His future wasn't an abstraction. It was already in motion. Practices scheduled, a roster spot waiting, a family getting ready to watch him leave home. On the night of July 3rd, Nolan cooked dinner for his parents. His mother, Christine Wansley, says he hugged them both before heading out to stay at a friend's place. He told her he loved her. It was the last conversation she would have with her son. The next morning, Nolan joined a group heading to Horn Island for the 4th of July. Marine data later reported by local news shows their boat left a private dock near Ocean Springs shortly before 10 a.m. and reached the island at roughly 11:14. Horn Island looks peaceful from a distance, miles of open sand ringed by water. But it isn't a tourist destination. No ferry, no stores, no way off except whatever boat brought you there. A large holiday crowd had gathered that day. Multiple boats, overlapping groups, the loose chaos of a beach party with no fixed guest list. One attendee later said it was meant as a final send-off before everyone scattered back to school and work. Nolan was last confirmed seen at approximately 3 p.m. What happened after that is where every account starts to diverge. The friends who returned to the mainland gave an account. Nolan had met a young woman on the island and decided to stay behind, expecting to catch a ride back with a different group later. But there's another detail that complicates that story. At around 4 p.m., someone aboard the original boat called a private towing service. The bilge pump had failed, they said. The boat was taking on water. The dispatcher asked how many people were aboard. About 7, the caller said. Everyone's safe. Everyone's safe. Nolan was not one of the 7 who came back. The group was eventually helped by another vessel and returned to shore without him. Nolan's parents didn't accept the story easily. His father, Elmore Wansley, said Nolan had been raised on one rule: if you go somewhere as a group, you come home as a group. Then came the detail that turned concern into alarm. Nolan's phone and keys had come back to the mainland without Nolan. Using a location-sharing app, his mother traced the phone to the home of someone connected to the trip. Wherever her son was, he had no way to call her. The family reported him missing that night. For a few hours, there was hope that he'd simply caught a ride on a different boat, phone left behind by accident. By morning, that explanation was getting harder to believe. On July 5th, Nolan's father went to Horn Island with Nolan's football coach to search themselves. Government agencies and volunteers followed. Boats swept the shoreline. Aircraft flew overhead. Drones went up, though extreme heat and technical failures grounded some of them. Sonar teams fought the weather too. The search ran through the night. At 8:45 the next morning, word came back to the command post. A National Park Service ranger had found a body near the northwestern tip of Horn Island. Nolan's identity was confirmed through dental records. Investigators initially said this looked like an accidental drowning, that nothing in the early evidence pointed to a crime. Nolan's family didn't accept that conclusion. They hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump and pushed for an independent investigation. Then the case got more complicated, not less. A recording began circulating online, what sounded like an argument on the island. Crump initially said it was Nolan's voice, demanding his phone back. Later, another young man who'd been at the gathering said the voice was his, not Nolan's. Investigators have not confirmed Nolan was involved in any physical confrontation. The sheriff's department requested every unedited photo, video, and witness account from anyone who'd been on the northwestern end of the island that day, specifically asking about any argument or disturbance. Crump also said messages appeared to have been deleted from Nolan's phone before it was recovered. What was deleted? When? And by whom? None of that has been publicly established. Deletion alone proves nothing without a forensic timeline behind it. The medical evidence, when it finally came, didn't settle things either. The Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office completed its report. It has not been made public. Officials say it will eventually go before a grand jury. Standard procedure for an unexplained death, prosecutors emphasize, not an indication that a crime has been established. The family commissioned a second, independent autopsy from forensic pathologist Dr. Roger Mitchell. By the time it happened, significant decomposition had already set in, and some tissue from the first autopsy wasn't available for the second team to examine. Dr. Mitchell's preliminary findings listed cause and manner of death as undetermined. No skull fractures, no skin lacerations, but an area of discoloration was documented at the back of Nolan's head. Its cause unexplained. It didn't prove a homicide. It also couldn't confirm a drowning or rule out someone else's involvement. 3 theories are left standing. None of them, publicly, explains everything. Theory 1. Accidental drowning. Under this theory, Nolan stayed behind on Horn Island by choice after meeting someone, while his original group left on a boat that was taking on water. At some point afterward, he went into the water. To swim. To reach another boat. For some ordinary reason, that turned deadly. Barrier Island currents shift fast. Water that looks calm from the beach can turn dangerous within minutes, and a strong swimmer can be pulled somewhere he never intended to go. It's the simplest explanation. It's also the one the water itself may never fully confirm or deny. Currents erase evidence as efficiently as they create tragedy. Theory 2. A chain of confusion. This theory doesn't require Nolan to have chosen isolation. It doesn't require anyone to have hurt him either. It only requires everyone to have assumed someone else had him. The boat was sinking. Groups were splitting and reforming on the fly. Maybe Nolan believed his friends were circling back. Maybe his friends believed he'd already climbed onto another boat. In a crowd like that, multiple vessels, a holiday, a boat actively taking on water. It doesn't take a lie for a young man to slip through the gaps. It only takes everyone believing, for just long enough, that he was somebody else's responsibility. By the time anyone realized he wasn't on any boat at all, the island had already gone quiet for the night. And somewhere in that gap, no one was watching him leave. Theory 3. Third-party involvement. This is the theory Nolan's family wants fully investigated, not because of one piece of proof, but because of everything that still doesn't add up. Conflicting accounts of why he stayed, his phone coming back without him, a disputed recording, messages possibly deleted, medical findings that raise more questions than they answer. Under this theory, something happened on that island that witnesses haven't fully described. A confrontation, an altercation, something that directly caused Nolan's death or put him in the water against his will. But suspicion is not proof. No one has verified the argument recording was Nolan's voice. Discoloration on a body is not, by itself, evidence of an assault. Deleted messages, if confirmed, still need context before they mean anything. And no one, no companion, no name, has been charged or officially identified as a suspect. Suspicion is not proof. It's a reason to keep looking. It is not, on its own, an answer. Online, the case has already outrun the facts. Altered recordings, AI-generated videos, fabricated photos, even a fake toxicology report that officials have explicitly warned is not real. People connected to the case have received threats. None of it has answered a single real question. The real questions are narrower than the internet has made them look. Was Nolan still on Horn Island when the damaged boat left? Did he actually have a ride arranged with someone else? Who had possession of his phone after 3 p.m.? Could the currents that day have kept the body near where he vanished? And what specifically does the sealed medical report say about his final hours? Until those 5 questions are answered, all 3 theories stay exactly where they are. Incomplete. Nolan Wells left home on July 3rd after telling his mother he loved her. The next morning, he reached Horn Island with his friends. His phone came back. His keys came back. Nolan didn't. Somewhere in the hours between his last confirmed sighting and a ranger's discovery on a quiet stretch of shoreline is an answer his family is still waiting to hear. We still don't know what happened to Nolan Wells.